Minji Chang. I'm the Executive Director of Kollaboration and your host for Coffee Break. And today I'm so excited because sitting with me is the beautiful and talented Melissa Polinar.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I'm so excited to have you in LA because you're in LA pretty often, but you're at home at Texas.
Yes.
The other time.
Yeah.
What part of Texas are you from again?
Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Dallas-Fort Worth area. Yeah, a little bit different than LA.
Way different. Yeah, it's a totally different pace, different life, and I feel like sometimes I live kind of two different lives.
Yeah.
Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing. When I'm in LA, I'm running around everywhere and just...
It's the hustle. That's definitely the LA.
Yeah, and you kind of need to do that over here, though, as you know. But in Texas, it's just a little bit more like laid back, just being with family.
Yeah.
Going to a grocery store and getting stuff and not really thinking about what's your next move in the music industry, which is always kind of like very draining for me.
Yeah.
I just love being creative for the most part, so... Yeah.
It's hard. It's like, that's what I hear from a lot of artists, that it's a necessity, but you don't want to always be caught up in the business side. That's like where you're like,
yes.
I just want to make cool stuff.
You know, people always talk about balance, and I think it's just hard for artists to attain that in the first place. Because I remember when I was writing my last record, my headspace is just not in the business at all. I was just wanting to make sure that what I'm writing is what I want to write.
Yeah.
And not be caught up in like, what's the new sounds?
Yeah.
Like, what's the I don't know, the
What's
trend.
the hot jam right now?
Yeah, and I mean, I guess some people like thrive on that stuff, but like I never was that kind of artist. And I never was a person that want to be edgy or like ahead of the curve. I just want to be authentic. And I think at the end of the day, people just want to be like, people want to hear authenticity, whether you be edgy or softy or whatever you are as an artist. I think when you hear it, it's like I can hear you.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I think you're totally right. Some people really are that pop culture, you know, and that is their style. So maybe they're not even like really fabricating or making something up. It's really just who they are. And so it works for them, but when you're forcing it. And that's what I've always loved about, I mean, I've been listening to your love songs for many years now. And they just, you know, they really tug at the heartstrings because it's really coming from you. So the fact that you're saying that to me, that like you make sure that it's you speaking in your words in the music, totally makes sense. I love it.
I try to make sense.
Well, I'm excited. And you're doing so many collaborations with awesome artists, so many that I love personally and some that I don't know, but I'm sure are incredible. And how's that been? I mean, like, you're such a collaborator. I love that about you. I
mean, I love collaborating because I feel like even in my, like, in a selfish perspective, like, it expands your horizon.
Yeah.
Like, if I write with somebody outside of my genre, like it kind of expands like this box of like musicality or lyrics or whatever it is that I'm trying to expand in my artistry.
Right.
So I mean, it's some people think that collaboration means like you don't have an identity, so you need people around you all the time to kind of do the stuff for you. But I mean, it can go either way, and I can understand that. But like for me, I love collaborating, especially with people that I love personally.
Yeah.
And you know, it just kind of brings that, I don't know, fun part. Yeah. I love doing stuff on my own, don't get me wrong. Like, I love just being alone and I have a loner part of me, and that's why I go back to Texas and just be isolated.
That's
sometimes.
her lone wolf.
Yeah.
It's a lone star state.
Totally.
It's a lone wolf state.
Yeah. So, but I think there's always room for collaboration and, pun intended.
Yeah. I was totally not inserting that. I genuinely meant. But and I've asked this of a lot of our interviewees, just like, are there, because we have all sorts of different Asian American artists come through that are singers and writers and directors and actors and comedians. Who are people, I guess, even like talent that you would sing with, or if there's a producer, like who are people that you would love to work with?
I have a long list. I mean, recently there was a dream come true moment.
Ooh. Please share.
Oh, with India, Arie. Yeah, so I wrote a song with her in New York.
You didn't?
I did.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
I mean, I was freaking out inside when it was actually happening, but I was trying to be calm. But she has been a really awesome in my life. Not only just a supporter of my music, but she's like, you know, took on this older sister vibe.
Wow.
Yeah, and I even like would confide in her when I felt a little discouraged. And, you know, the artist journey is just such a unique thing that even your own family sometimes don't understand it. They love you,
Yeah.
and they do support you, but that sometimes there's like a disconnect of what you're really going through.
It's just a completely, like you said, unique journey that unless you're living it, and no two actors, or not actors, like no two artists go through the same thing because their milestones are different or who they meet
Pretty
are
much.
different, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard to relate.
Yeah, so I reached out to India, and then she's just very encouraging and all that stuff. And so when I went on tour last fall, there was a stop in New York, and I didn't even know she was in town. She texted me, and she like, hey, I'm gonna go to your show tonight, and do you want me to sing with you? So she ended up singing like a few of my songs with me.
What?
Yeah, and she's the one who volunteered, so I'm like,
That's incredible.
yeah. And then the following day, she invited me to her place so we could write. So we did write a song. So that was one. And then like I have a whole list of people that I would love to write with because of just sheer admiration of their work. Probably I would say John Mayer.
Okay, hey.
Yeah.
What's up,
And-
John?
Yeah.
What's up? You want to work?
Yeah.
Melissa's put it out there. We're going to tweet this to him. It's cool.
I mean, Pharrell too.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim, you know him. I would love to work with Pharrell. I think he's a genius and just kind of like innovative in every way, musically.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very open. Like, who knows? Like, I didn't think that India and I would ever work, but like,
Yeah.
we ended up doing.
That's amazing. That's a pretty incredible story. And then she's like, hey, come over. Let's write.
I know she's really down to earth. I mean, especially if she loves your work and who you are, it's like she's all in. She's not, you know, if she doesn't like your work, she'll tell you, like,
Nice.
straight out.
Very
I love
cool.
That. Yeah.
I feel honored to know that this happened. I don't know. I would love to see, and I would love to see videos if there's any online of you guys performing together. Her
There
singing.
might be some floating around. There's one in my channel that we did a couple of years ago when she went on tour,
Okay.
and she stopped in Dallas, and so she put me on the list, like guest listing, and so I went with my sister-in-law, and we had a girly date. And,
Nice.
And then after the show ended, she invited me backstage, and then I thought it was just to hang out, and then I would end up leaving, but she told me, Melissa, you're not leaving. You're not going anywhere until you sing a song for my crew. So,
What?
So I ended up singing. That was like a few years back. So
India Arie puts you on the spot. You sing.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. So she's been really awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And can I just ask, like, for you, I mean, you've been singing for a long time, been an inspiration to so many other artists, including people that I've known in collaboration. Like, they're the ones who introduced me to your music. And how's that been for you being Asian American and in an industry where I hear stories from people where they're straight up, you know, I can't market you. I don't know.
have a bunch of stories. We could have like a whole day of conversation right now, like talking about that stuff. My initial entry to the music industry was when I was 15.
Wow, okay.
You know, I was still living in Texas, but I got discovered by this, I guess, industry guy, and from Nashville, and immediately he was like, "Let me invite you to the offices in Nashville," and this was a Warner Brother publishing thing, and so there was executives in front of me, and I played them all my songs. Then some of those songs were not that great, but those were the ones that I had.
That's great.
But it ended up that they were like, all these record label A&Rs were like, we love you, we love your songs, we love your voice, but we don't know how to market you. So they couldn't justify signing me to a record label, record deal, by the way. So they ended up signing me to a publishing deal, which is
Okay.
like songwriting, which I still do to this day.
Uh-huh.
But it was their way of like, well, we don't know how to put you up front,
Yeah, we can't
yet.
put you in front of people yet.
but we're just going to put you collaborating with whoever. So it was a double-edged sword for me, because it was like, it gave me the experience to write with whoever in the industry.
Yeah.
So it was a blessing in that way.
At 15.
Wow. So it was a blessing, but at the same time, it's like they didn't know. Like,
yeah. They weren't willing to take the risk to like.
Yeah, it was a risk, but they didn't go all the way.
Right.
You know
they were
mean?
not going to take that risk.
Yeah.
Like.
So it was like for about 3 years of just songwriting, like a whole lot, and after my deal was done, some of my bosses, left. My publishers left, and some of so at that time I was like, I need to leave and go back home. So when I went back home, I took a break. I didn't really do music, and then YouTube started to happen.
Yeah.
So that was one, so YouTube was like kind of my resurgence back into the thing, and it presented this Asian American, a bunch of us were doing that kind of
this
thing.
community, right?
Community.
Yeah.
And so that's what I realized, like, wow, like, I viewed myself as an artist. It didn't matter who I was ethnically and all that stuff, but then at that time, it made me realize, well, maybe this is something that I need to do to represent the people who look like me, girls who look like me, want to play guitar and be songwriters. And so it kind of presented like another facet of purpose.
Right.
Not just writing a song and singing well, but to represent a community that's underrepresented. Really.
Right.
So,
and how many other people are being told, like, oh, we don't know what to do with you, so we're just going to keep you under wraps or, like, put you
behind the scenes, which is not a problem. You can be behind the scenes if you want to. But
if you also want to be in front, that should also be an option, too, especially with all the talent that is out there, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's but we have to keep going.
Yeah.
I think that is the takeaway, if anything.
Absolutely. Well, props to you and respect and thank you for being persistent. I can imagine there's a lot of moments where you can just throw in the towel too and be like, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's an everyday struggle. You just have to kind of decide every day if you want to keep going. And every artist has their thing and journey, and I think we just need to help each other out and support each other.
For sure. Yeah, well, thank you so much. I feel so honored that I got to interview Melissa. And we'll definitely have you back whenever you're in LA. We'd love to talk with you again, or if we're in Texas, because we have Kollaboration out in Dallas.
Okay.
But definitely want to keep up with all the cool things you're doing.
Definitely.
So we'll talk to you again soon. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time on Coffee Break. Bye. Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out Coffee Break. Please subscribe to the Kollaboration channel to get more Coffee Break interviews, and also check out our Green Room Music series. You can also check out our website, kollaboration.org, for updates on our live events, our blog, and our Collabcast podcast, which is also available on iTunes. Please follow us on social media at Kollaboration. Their links are right below. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you next time.